Thank you on behalf of the Wilson family. Thank you all for being here and your support and prayers and your contributions. Some of you have traveled quite a ways. Yeah, we appreciate that. We've had condolences and love poured out throughout the country from friends and family, and we appreciate those of you that have traveled here. My cousin Gloria, Richard, Penny, Elaine from New Mexico, of course my sister Paula, her husband Steve came from Arizona. So we wish you safe travels in return. My name is Tim Wilson. I'm Stephen's younger brother. I was the next one in line after him, and I'm now the oldest, I guess. And we grew up together, walked to school together, played together, fought together. I remember one time when we were kids, we were playing. Steve was very, he had a way of inspiring you when it came to playing or whatever, being interested in things. Can you all hear me back there okay? In the back? It's kind of ringing. Okay. Is that better? When we were kids, my brother Steve we would play just with whatever we had. We were kind of a lot of kids and not a lot of fancy toys, so I remember Stephen would he was kind of interested in a TV show at the time called Route 66. It was about a couple of guys in a Corvette that traveled the country.
Keep speaking, we'll work on it.
Okay. So when we were kids, we would play on the side of the house in the dirt, and we would play with these bricks. We would pretend we were driving a clutch, because that was the big thing, how to drive a standard. We were just little kids. Steve just really had a way with making things interesting and inspiring. And it wasn't that long ago, actually the day before Steve passed away, I got to talk to him on the phone, and I thanked him for being that inspiration to me as a kid about whatever it was. You know, it could have been the Baltimore Colts at the time, or boxing. He just had an inspiring effect on me. And I got to talk to him, and I was very grateful for that. It was about a half-hour conversation. Last week I had the privilege of traveling to San Angelo to get Stephen's belongings and bring them here. And I had the privilege of meeting the people that helped take care of him there at the nursing home. And they were some pretty special people. Really grateful, because that was the last place that Stephen lived, and they seemed to really do well there with Steve. So one thing about him, every time we talked on the phone, he would always talk about when we talked on the phone, every time we talked, he would always talk about his faith and desire to be in good graces with God, and he always talked about his love for God and his desire to overcome. I got to say, he had a real deep faith and belief that way, So, while today is a sad day, I know it's a day he looks forward to for a long time. And so that's kind of where my focus is, knowing that he is happy and in life after. And that's pretty much what I had to say. I did have a couple of other things here. My sister Priscilla was not able to make it, and my brother Phillip, and so they sent some words that they asked for me to read for Paula, my sister, to read, but Paula was not sure she could get through it, so I told her I would give it a shot here. So this is from Priscilla. It says, from the ages of 15 to 20, my brother Stephen was one of the brightest Christian lights I have ever seen. I well remember the boldness of his witness. He overflowed. There are people serving in the ministry to this day that were converted under his teenage preaching. When I was 12 and 13, he was 18 and 19. He was the loving big brother that always let me tag along. I was allowed to attend high school gatherings for Youth for Christ, of which he was president. And we went to Jesus Chapel on Friday nights together, where I heard a teenage singer refer to her brother as my brother twice. After that, it became a phrase that I used for him through the years. Yes, I feel a longing in my heart for you, my brother, yet so glad you are present with the Lord. So rest in peace, and I know that I will see you again. My eternal brother, my brother twice. This is, I have to look forward to. That was from Priscilla. This is from Phillip. My life was impacted greatly by my brother Stephen. When I was 6 years old, he played baseball with me and taught me to stand up to bullies. In my teen years, he was a living example of Christ. The verse that exemplifies Stephen is, greater love hath no man than this, that a man should lay down his life for his friend. I realize now how much I needed him growing up. Thank you, Stephen. I honor you. Amen. And I also have one last thing here that my mom asked for me to read from Stephen's notebook that he brought back from San Angelo, Texas. He would write in this book, and there were several journals that he wrote in. It was kind of like all about, his faith and scriptures, and almost like prepping for a sermon. So my mom asked me to read this. Before I do, I just want to also acknowledge all the support that my brother Danny has been through all of this to my mother, and I appreciate that. So this is from Stephen's notebook. It says, if you, and bear with me, I'm reading here, just handwritten. If you don't have the right attitude toward God, keep praying. Seeking God. The Bible says in Matthew 7, seek and ye shall find. Some people get mad at God. That is not a good Christian attitude. Like, why did this happen? Why did I go through this? Some people question God a lot. God never said that we would have all of the answers. In fact, God may show very little, but he still expects us to be faithful. The right Christian attitude toward God is one that Apostle Paul had. Romans 8:18. Read it. Will be worth it. Will be worth it all.
you don't have, I'm having a hard time reading this, a redemption that the Christian life here on earth will be worth it all, we need to ask God to open our eyes, because there's nothing a Christian can go through in this life, absolutely nothing, that won't be worth it in the life to come, and all God has for us. And I believe that Sister Marlene is going to sing a favorite song of Stephen's.